28-year-old Davar Guthrie, otherwise called Peeboo, of Stephen Lane in Kingston 13, has been charged with the murder of 25-year-old Daniel Crawford, a soldier of Bryan's Land, Spalding Clarendon, following an incident along the roadway of Stephen Lane, Kingston 13, on Tuesday, February 10. Reports from the Hunts Bay Police are that at about 8:51 p.m., a police team was summoned to the area after reports of explosions were heard. A search of the area was conducted, during which Crawford was observed lying along the roadway with multiple gunshot wounds to the head and upper body. He was assisted to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Following intense investigations, Guthrie was arrested and subsequently charged after he was positively identified in an identification parade with murder, conspiracy to murder, using a firearm to commit a felony, shooting with intent, possession of a prohibited weapon, and unauthorized possession of ammunition. A court date has not been provided by the police, as the defendant's court date is currently being finalized. The Jamaica Constabulary Forces Agricultural Protection Branch is issuing an urgent public advisory following the seizure of more than 500 pounds of uninspected and improperly handled meat during an operation conducted in downtown Kingston on Sunday, February 22. Reports are that at about 12 p.m., members of the APB Metro team carried out a targeted intelligence-led operation dubbed Operation Farm Shield. The initiative resulted in the interception of meat products allegedly intended for public distribution without the requisite inspection, licensing, and food safety compliance. Preliminary investigations revealed that the meat was not subjected to the mandatory inspection process and was being handled in a manner inconsistent with established public health and safety standards. The seizure was carried out to prevent potentially contaminated or spoiled meat from entering the consumer market. As a result of the operation, 58-year-old Milton Bundy, a vendor of Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13, was arrested and charged with unlawful possession of meat, possession of uninspected meat, operating without a butcher's license, and operating without a food handler's permit. This action forms part of the APB's intensified strategy to safeguard Jamaica's food supply chain and follows ongoing investigations into unlawful meat distribution within the Market District. Senior Superintendent of Police and Commanding Officer for the Agricultural Protection Branch, Oral Pasco, reaffirmed the branch's commitment to securing Jamaica's agricultural future. The JCF is reminding the public to purchase meat only from licensed and certified vendors, to ensure products bear appropriate inspection markings, and to report any suspicious activity involving the sale or distribution of meat. A 17-year-old student from Foga Road High School in Clarendon has died following a collision between his bicycle and a motor car on Sunday evening. The teenager has been identified as CJ Gordon, a resident of Pleasant Valley in the parish. According to reports, Gordon was cycling along the Pleasant Valley Main Road at approximately 5 p.m. when he collided with a Toyota Probox motor car that was being operated as a taxi. The impact caused severe injuries to Gordon and extensive damage to both the bicycle and the motor vehicle. He was rushed to Maypen Hospital, where he later succumbed to his injuries. The driver of the vehicle, a 24-year-old man, has been warned of potential prosecution as investigations continue. The Maypen Traffic Department is currently investigating the circumstances surrounding the fatal incident. 79 children have been reported killed in fatal collisions throughout Jamaica within the past 4 years. Of this total, 7 fatalities have been recorded in the initial 2 months of 2026. These statistics are sourced from the police's Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch.
The parish of St. Elizabeth has accounted for 5 of the 7 fatal collisions recorded since the start of 2026. Manchester and Clarendon have recorded the remaining 2. The age group of 15 to 17 recorded the highest number, with 4 fatal collisions falling under this category. The age group of 10 to 14 comes in second, accounting for the remaining 3. According to the data, private motor cars account for 3, motorcycles account for 2, pedestrians account for 1, and pedal cyclists 1. Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, Dr. Lucien Jones, says this is cause for concern.
Despite the welcome 33% reduction in road fatalities for this year so far, 37 when compared to the same time last year, 55, the National Road Safety Council is concerned about the disturbing rise in child fatalities, especially at a time when there's national angst about intentional injuries resulting in the recent death of a 3-year-old child. The unintentional injuries, the category in which road fatalities fall, according to the Ministry of Health, resulted in 7 child fatalities in the 0 to 17 age cohort since the start of the year, is deeply concerning. 3 died in private motor car, which raises the possibility that they were not properly buckled up. 2 on a motorcycle, 1 pedestrian, and a pedal cyclist.
According to the P-STEP data, Westmoreland has recorded the highest number of children killed in fatal collisions over the 4-year period. The number stands at 13. Westmoreland is followed by St. Thomas, which accounts for 8. Dr. Jones says road safety efforts need to be redoubled.
What has not changed is the police reports that the majority of these fatalities have been caused by persons driving at excessive speeds and failing to keep in their lane. We really need then to ramp up our efforts to ensure, in keeping with the safe systems approach to road safety, that we have safe speeds on our roads, but in addition, we need also to ensure that we have safe road users in an effort to protect both adults and children, as all lives matter, whether they die from intentional or unintentional injuries. And therefore welcome the insertion into the road safety toolbox. New technologies, for example, use of cameras to detect infractions. They help to drive down even further these encouraging numbers, but still in the wider scheme of things, far too high.
Father succumbs to injuries days after 3-year-old son killed in Denham Town home invasion. Grief has tightened its grip on Denham Town, Kingston, following the death of a father who was shot alongside his 2 sons during a brazen home invasion on Saturday. The deceased has been identified as Kiero Pinnock, who was gunned down along with his children when armed men stormed their Nelson Street home and opened fire. His 3-year-old son, Jace Zaza Pinnock, was pronounced dead at hospital shortly after the attack. Pinnock died on Monday while undergoing treatment for his injuries. An 8-year-old boy who was also shot during the incident has since been treated and released from hospital. The double murder has sent shockwaves through the community, with residents struggling to comprehend the killing of such a young child. In the immediate aftermath of Saturday's shooting, Jace's mother, Ladonia Cunningham, was seen pacing Nelson Street in anguish, clutching the blood-stained, bullet-riddled underwear her son had been wearing when he was shot. The Major Investigations Division has launched a probe into the deadly attack as authorities work to establish a motive for the violence. Minister of National Security and Peace, Dr. Horace Chang, condemned the killings, describing the attack as senseless and heartbreaking. Member of Parliament for Kingston Weston, Desmond Mackenzie, also denounced the incident and renewed calls for residents to unite against crime in the area. Up to press time, no motive had been established for the shooting that claimed the lives of a father and his 3-year-old son. Vybz Kartel and Mavado to reignite rivalry at Freedom Street, Europe. Excitement is sweeping through social media as fans from both Gully and Gaza factions celebrate the announcement that dancehall giants Vybz Kartel and Mavado are set to share the stage at Freedom Street, Europe. The highly anticipated event, aptly dubbed Gully vs. Gaza, marks a monumental moment in dancehall history, arriving 18 years after their legendary showdown at Sting 2008, a clash that remains etched in the genre's collective memory. Since the announcement broke, social media platforms have been ablaze with reactions from fans across the globe. Among those throwing their weight behind the historic event is international music mogul DJ Khaled, who reposted the news and shared his enthusiasm with followers. Khaled declared that history has already been made, adding that now is the time for more history, more wins, and more blessings. He extended congratulations to both artists and encouraged them to continue inspiring their fans worldwide. The Gaza vs. Gully takeover promises to deliver an unforgettable experience, unfolding over 2 nights of back-to-back performances from the longtime rivals. Billed as a European exclusive, the event will feature additional artists who are yet to be announced, building anticipation for what organizers are calling a landmark celebration of dancehall culture. Freedom Street Europe is scheduled to take place in Malta from September 10 to 13, 2026, offering fans an opportunity to witness a chapter of dancehall history being rewritten on an international stage.